So I'm creating the trigger with this. After insert on XX students 0905 begin update students underscore 0905 table that total is equals to M1 plus M2 plus M3. Average is equals to M1 plus M2 plus M3 by 3. Result, case when M1 greater than or equals to 35 and M2 greater than or equals to 35 and M3 greater than or equals to 35, then pass, else fail. So what we are doing here? So we are creating a trigger with this update statement. So whenever we are inserting any record into this table, XX students underscore 0905 with this student name, student number and marks M1, M2, M3, automatically it will calculate the total, average and result and it will update in the table. So DBMS output records are updated. DBMS output records are updated. So I'm creating this trigger. So trigger is completed. So table created. After that, we are created the trigger. So then I try to insert the records into this table two. So I'll insert one record. Insert into this table underscore 0905. So insert into XX students underscore 0905. Serial number, S name, M1, M2, M3. Only 3 marks here. You can say I'll insert 1. Yeah. So 90, 80, 100. So record is inserted. And if you see this, records are updated. This is the message. So when you check the table, so we have inserted only student number, student name, and marks only. Then we can check this table XX underscore students underscore 0905. What is happened? So automatically M1, M2, M3 calculated as a total value and average value pass. Okay. Suppose I will insert same record to be 90 or suppose you can say 70 and here 67. What happened here? Any constraint violated. So 1A we are giving any constraint for 2B. Is there any constraints on this table? Okay. Samriti result and only this one only. S name. One, two, three, 5 only.
Student name.
Oh, sorry. Students table name is changed. Copy this. Okay. So now there's a table name is missing here. Different table name is. So insert. Now this is second record inserted. Then there is the total here. Total, average, and pass. Suppose if I want to insert third record 3C, I can say here 25. That is result is fail here. Okay. So average is coming, total is coming, result it is fail. So what I will do, I will disable this trigger. So then try to insert some other records. So to disable the trigger, we have to use the alter trigger name disable. To enable same alter trigger name enable you have to mention. So what I am doing now, I am disabling the trigger. So now this is the message trigger tr1 underscore 0905 altered. Now what I will do, I will insert to next record 55, 85. So one row got inserted. Now check this table. Okay. Trigger is not disabled. Auto trigger tr1 mistake. Okay. So altered trigger tr1 underscore 09. This is our trigger. So this is only I have to use here. I have used tr109. So now I am disabling this trigger. So now I'll insert one more record. So 5 E I'm using this same values. Now check this table. So what happened after disabling the trigger? So this total average and this one result, it is not updated. Okay. So when we disable the trigger, what is happening? So trigger is not working. What are we updated in this trigger? So this update statement is not working. Okay. Again, what I will do, I will enable this trigger. Trigger got enabled. So now what I will do, I will insert one more record here. So now record is inserted. So now check this. This also now it got updated. Previous record it is not updated the total. So after enabling the trigger and again we are inserted one more record, then again update statement is worked and this is also updated here. Okay, like this you can create triggers to update and to control or to restrict the users not to perform DML operations, or you can have the once you insert the some of the columns data, you can update the some other column data also like this. This is about the statement level trigger. So now coming to the row level trigger. So in row level trigger, trigger body is executed for each row of the DML statement. That is why we are using for each row call clause in the trigger specification. And also data internally stored in the segment qualifiers are like new and old. So we have to use the new old specifiers, qualifiers. You can call them as a qualifiers. These qualifiers can be used in the row level triggers only. So these qualifiers are used in either trigger specification or trigger body. When we are using these modifiers in the trigger body, we must use the colon prefix in the qualifiers. So colon, this colon we have to use before using this. When you are using the row level triggers, so these two can be used along with the row level triggers. So syntax is, suppose if you are updating, you can use this colon old dot column name or colon new dot column name. In this scenario, you can use when we are using these qualifiers in one class we are not allowed to use the colon in front of the qualifier. So when to use this qualifier and when not to use this qualifiers. So these qualifiers can be used in the DML operations. So qualifier new can be used in the insert or update, but you cannot use in the delete. Same way, word colon word can be used in the update and delete only, not in the insert. So we'll create in before triggers, trigger body is executed before DML statements are affected into database. In after triggers, trigger body is executed after DML statements affected into database. Generally, if you want to restrict invalid data entry, always we are using before triggers only. So when you don't want to enter unwanted data then into the table, then you have to use the before trigger only. Okay. Suppose we are going to create a row level trigger creator replace trigger tr1 underscore 0905 after delete on emp1 for each row. This is the keyword. So for the row level trigger, this must be for each row. Begin dbms output.put records are deleted. So what will happen whenever you are performing any DML operations on this delete emp1? What it will happen? It will fire the trigger. So this emp1. So now we have the 10 records are there. Okay. So what I will do? So out of this, I want to delete this salary whereout 17,000 is there. I want to delete them. Okay. Delete from emp1 where salary is equals to 17,000. So what it will do? So when I delete, automatically this trigger will be fired because after delete on emp1 we have created a trigger this here. So how many records deleted? 4 rows deleted. So here also this message records are deleted. This message is printed 4 times. That means for every record it is printed, records are deleted. Here it is 4 records deleted, so that 4 times this is executed. That is for each row. So for each row, this message is printed here. Okay. So if we delete, now what is the table contents here? 6 records are there now. Okay. So out of this, the department number null I want to delete. So delete from emp1 where DGPT number is null. So that means these 2 records will be deleted. Then how many times it will be printed? Trigger will be fired 2 times and for the each. Here records deleted, two records deleted, so 2 times this DBM statement is printed. Not only DBM statement, so any statements you mention here that will be executed for each row. Suppose if you are mentioned 3 statements here, that 3 statements will be executed. How many times these records got deleted? These many times into 2 times. Suppose 2 records deleted, so here 3 into 3 total 3 plus 3, that is 6 will be printed here. But here I mentioned only 1 dbm statement, so that it is 2 times it got printed. So you can do any other operations also in the trigger, so as you required. So whenever you delete, you can save this data to some other table in the real time. So normally what will happen, suppose if you are deleting from the some of the base tables in the Oracle, so what it will do, it will have the archive table. Backend it will have the archive table. It will whatever you are deleting the triggers, that will be copied to some other table. So using these triggers. So I want to write a trigger to check for the null values in the department name. This is the requirement. Create a trigger to check the null values in the department. So how will you create this one? Creator, replace trigger, trigger name check underscore nulls underscore 09. Before insert or update or dname on DEPT for each row. Begin if colon new dot dname is null, then rise application error. So that means whenever you are inserting a null value into this department name, so it will throw the error. So when it will throw, when it is inserting or updating at that time, if this department name is having the null value, then it will rise the application error. So we'll use this. Now the trigger is created. So now I will insert into some record. I will try to insert a record into this. So insert into DEPT values 98 null HYD. So department name is null here. So then it is throwing the error. Department name cannot be blank. This the trigger is firing here. Suppose same if I update the department number 30 with the null value. Update department that dname is equals to null, where department number is equals to 30. Then also it will throw the error. Same error it is throwing. So why? Because we are using this trigger on this insert and update only. So if you try to delete, this record will be deleted. Why? Because we are not using on the delete here. In the trigger we are not using delete. Only for the before insert or before update only we are using this trigger. So that if you want to delete, you can delete without any issue. So this is the one more trigger I can create. So write a PLSQL row level trigger on employee table. Whenever user inserting data into employee table, salary should be more than 5,000. So for that, you can create a trigger like this. So create a replace trigger tr4 underscore 09 before insert on emp1 for each row. Begin if colon new dot salary less than 5,000, then rise application error. Salary should be more than 5,000. This is the error we are writing here. So trigger is created. So now when you insert some data into this table, insert it to emp1, employee number, employee name, salary. So salary I am giving below 5,000. Then it will throw the trigger error here. Okay. Suppose if I am creating insert on the ename. So I want to insert the ename as a lower letter. So okay. So what will happen? So when you insert the lower letter, you should not accept it. So create or replace trigger tr5_09. So before insert an emp1 for each row, begin if colon new dot ename is equals to lower of colon new name new dot ename, then raise application error. So this is equals to lower of the ename, then it will throw the error. So trigger is created. So I am trying to insert some record here. Insert into emp1, employee number, employee name, value is 100, comma Rohan. So one row got inserted. But if I insert small letters, so what will happen? It is throwing the error. We cannot insert into lowercase values. Okay. So all the lowercase it is not accepting, only uppercase or init cap it is accepting here. So like this we can restrict the data entry into the table. So same way you can have the some more examples. So we'll continue. We'll do that. Other examples. Okay. So write a PLSQL program to row level trigger on the master and shell tables. So cascade and connect using the delete. This is the requirement. So we can have the write a PLSQL row level trigger on master and shell tables while implementing an on delete cascade concept using the on delete cascade. So on delete cascade means whenever the parent table record is deleted, so in the child table also record will be deleted. That can be achieved using these triggers also. So we have seen the in the previous examples, that is parent and child relationship. Whenever creating any records, is there any record is associated with the parent table record, then that record will not be deleted. So for that what we are using? On delete cascade or on delete set null values we are using. So same way using the trigger also you can delete that one. For that we have to create some of the tables. For that we'll create a parent table and child table first. So create table xxdept parent underscore 09. So department number, department name, location. So table got created. So this is the parent table and I'm going to create the child table. emp child 09. So child table containing only this employee number, employee name, job, salary, and department number, number references, xxdept parent table, that is department number, xxdept parent underscore 09 of department number column. On delete cascade. So on delete cascade means what it will do? So it will delete the child record. Whenever you try to delete the parent table record, so it will delete the child record table also. So now the table got created. I am going to insert the some records into these two tables. Okay. So I'll create this one. Insert into parent table. This is the 4 records I'm inserting. So committed. So I'll do insert in the same way in the child table also. Oh, sorry, already it is there. So from here. Child table records I'm inserting here. So now I'm doing commit here. So now check the tables. Select start from xx underscore dept underscore parent underscore 09. We have the 4 records. Then we select start from xx underscore emp underscore child underscore 09. We have the 7 records here. Oh, sorry, 8 records. Okay. So now what I will do? So I will write a trigger to delete this one. So create a replace trigger tr6 underscore 09 after delete on xx dept parent 09 for each row. Begin delete from child record where department number is equals to colon old dot department number. So what I am doing here, so automatically this trigger will delete the record from the child table. So what I will do now, delete from xx underscore dept underscore parent underscore 09 where dept number is equals to 10. So what it will do? The error during the execution of the trigger. So trigger a user-defined PLSQL function that is referenced in the statement attempted to log that at modify table was. That means when you are trying to delete this one, it is getting the error. Okay. Why we are getting the error? So on the same table we are doing the, here in the trigger also we are using this same table, and while updating also this is here, so that we have to use the some Pragma autonomous transaction on this triggers. So I'll explain this one. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll create a table. Okay, 1 minute. I'll do that. Drop the table and recreate this one. Child table. What I'll do, I'll drop this child table. The table got dropped. Now I'll remove this on delete cascade. I'll create with this. Again, table created. I am inserting these records. So now check this table. So table having the data. Now what I will do? So I will try to delete this one. Okay. Now one row got deleted here. See this. Previously it is not deleted. Why? Because already we are using the on delete cascade in the child table, so that it is not deleted. Now without this on delete cascade, so I'm using this table, child table. But in normal scenario, when you try to delete, it will not delete this parent table record. So but using the trigger, what I have done, so whenever I am deleting the parent table record or here, automatically deleting the child table record here. So here only 20, 30, 40 it is there. Okay. So now I am going to delete the, okay. Before that, you can see this child table records. So you have only 5 now. So previously it should be 8 is there. Now it is having the 5 records only. I will try to delete the department number 20. So what it will do? Whenever I am deleting this department number 20, so automatically associated records. So here in the department table, parent table, it is 20 deleted. And coming to child table, that all the department number 20 records deleted. So previously, when in the parent and child table relationship, when you try to delete this, it is getting the error, records are associated. And that time what we are doing, we are using the in the child table while creating, we are using the on delete cascade or on delete set null. So but without using it on delete cascade on delete set null, so using the trigger, we are deleting. Whenever we are deleting from the parent table, so here we are deleting the child record values. Okay. So how you are deleting? Delete from xxcmp child where department number is equals to colon world dot department number. So that world dot department number is whatever the department number we are passing here, that will be replaced here. So with that, automatically this will delete the child record tables. Same way, if you want to set null values, you can use this. Whenever you are deleting, you can update the child record department number to set null. Instead of the deleting here child record, so you can use the update statement, update table set department number is equals to null, where department number is equals to world dot department number. You can use that one. So that whenever you delete the parent table record, automatically child table records department number will be set to null. Okay. So one more topic in this triggers is mutating trigger. So this we will continue tomorrow as the time is not there. So tomorrow we'll continue this mutating triggers. So any doubts in this triggers? So for the row level triggers, we have to mandatorily mention for each row. So for the statement level triggers, this is not required. Remaining is same. Whatever the specification, this is the specification. Up to here, this is the specification, and this is the body, trigger body, and this is the trigger specification. Okay. In the row level only, we'll use this qualifiers, that is new or old qualifiers, along with the colon old or colon new, that will be used in the row level triggers only. Okay. So in the above example, here we have seen this. If new dot colon new dot ename is equals to lower of colon new dot ename. That means here while inserting we have to use this colon new. So these qualifiers will be available only for this row level, and also options qualifiers can be used for the insert, update. You can use new